Yes, it's my first time visiting Ukraine and also the city of Kiev. Yeah.
Great.
I think the blockchain community in Ukraine is amazing. I'm very surprised that there's so much high interest in blockchain, the technology, and also in terms of the whole industry itself. Yeah, and we're surprised to find so many people at the conference. Yeah. Well, I think in Malaysia, when we grew out from almost a predominantly a commodity or agriculture industry, the Prime Minister then decided to set a vision to take Malaysia to the next level. That's why he created an area called the Cyberjaya, which is like a cyber city. And that project itself has got a lot of interest around the world. And today it's a very successful area for innovation. So blockchain actually came to Malaysia maybe around 2.5 years ago. And because of their wanting to grow into this area, they decided to do a lot of activity. And I think blockchain is one of the many technologies that is done in Cyberjaya, in the cyber city, near our Kuala Lumpur International Airport actually. Yeah. Yes, they have many semi-government and government agencies that are looking at different areas of innovation. For example, there's been very high interest in IoT, in new technologies like AI, and they have a few very specific agencies within Cyberjaya that blockchain is actually one of that for innovation of perhaps the things that future companies, future government systems can be based on. Yeah. Okay. In Malaysia, a lot of the government agencies now, and both corporate and government, are exploring blockchain and how to use blockchain into their current systems. And I think right now everybody's starting, so there's a lot of education. And I think for NEM Blockchain, our task as a blockchain protocol is basically to start introducing the concept of blockchain to a lot of the community. And at the same time, because of the high interest of digital currency and cryptocurrency in the country, so that combined together, now there's a lot of people willing to look at the technology and how it can be used to power their existing or even their legacy systems. I think that's where it's growing very rapidly. I'm a regional head for Southeast Asia for NEM. So what we did was we decided to set up base in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, and we built Asia's largest blockchain center. It's like a innovation center. At the same time, it's a support center for the whole NEM team for the region. So in each of the Asian countries, like in Bangkok, in Indonesia, in Philippines, and even in Singapore, we are creating hubs where people can come to locations where NEM they can learn a lot more about NEM and what it can do and how it can power with NEM technology. Yeah. Right. Well, for NEM, actually, when our foundation was started, our founding president has a 2-year term, and he has his own council members that assist the president in executing NEM around the world and kind of like to govern the whole NEM project. So when both our NEM, our president, he had to step down because he was working on another project that's like a companion project to NEM. So, but he's still an advisor, just like our vice president. Both of them are still advisors to NEM Foundation. So in the interim, we actually had a interim president, Christoph, who's actually our interim president until the next election. So basically, every 2 years we will have a new transition of leadership. So the whole idea is that this team will be the one that governs the whole NEM community and make sure that the project is run well, and some of the innovations that we have and the business growth around the world is somewhat guided by this whole foundation council. So upcoming in around October, we probably have elections where we will be selecting our new leadership for the next 2 years. Well, actually a lot of the very talented people are on the council, and we have a lot of very strong leaders around the different regions around the world. I think the whole idea is to have a strong team so that it will take NEM to the next level in the next 2 years. Not really, it's actually an election. It can be the existing council members who wish to serve another 2 more years. So it depends on how the election goes. Also, the regional heads for each region are also invited onto the council for foundation. So that's where the structure of the whole foundation is very important, because it guides the direction of how NEM would be guided for the next few years. Yeah. So a lot of the programs that we have in place and the growth around the world is actually decided upon and executed by the council members who are serving on the NEM Foundation. Yeah. Well, this is my first time in Ukraine. I'm very excited to see blockchain technology being such a high interest, and also there's so many people, new people especially, getting into the business. I encourage everyone to learn more about this technology, what you can do with it, both in your company and maybe personally, and also perhaps along the way maybe invest in some digital currencies. And I wish everyone in Ukraine every success in this industry. And I think we're just starting. I think it'll be really cool.